Alex Jebediah Jones, okay, everyone's favorite commentator. Now, you already know Alex Jones and I have a bit of a rivalry. He calls me Hank Pecker. Hasan Piker. Not Hank Pecker. That's my alter ego. I bet he would love Hank Pecker if he ever met him. Okay. Alex Jones is in a bit of a hot water, okay, because, he had a oopsie moment, and he did the whole, like, Sandy Hook was staged thing, okay? Did the whole, Sandy Hook was staged, it was fake. And then his followers were like, yeah, that's right. And then they harassed the parents and the victims of Sandy Hook. Okay. And guess what? Things are not looking too great for old Alex here. Okay. Things are looking, as a matter of fact, real bad for old Alex here. Okay. Let's take a look at what's going on. There's a defamation case happening right now against our brave patriot, Alex Jebediah Jones.
The latest on a family that lost a child in the Sandy Hook massacre, trying to rebuild their lives and to punish the man they accuse of spreading lies and causing chaos for them. Talk radio host Alex Jones has repeatedly given airtime to claims that the 2012 school shooting in Newtown, Connecticut was staged by the government. Those are quotes. The parents of 6-year-old Jesse Lewis are suing him for $150 million. As Janet Shamlian reports, Jones and the boy's parents came face to face yesterday during heart-wrenching testimony in an Austin, Texas courtroom.
I can't even describe the last 9.5 years of the living hell that I and others have had to endure because of the negligence and the recklessness of Alex Jones.
Neil Heslin and Scarlett Lewis, the parents of Jesse Lewis, addressed the court Tuesday in their lawsuit against Alex Jones. Heslin and Lewis say they live in fear after receiving death threats, unwelcome emails, and phone calls as a result of Jones's lies.
My home was shot up. Vehicles were shot up in my yard.
Jones, who was noticeably absent for Heslin's testimony, was recording his podcast, continuing to attack the parents.
He was literally calling them slow and autistic on his broadcast while the fucking parents were offering testimony about how much they were impacted by Alex Jones' statements because his followers decided to act out his desires. Holy fucking shit.
I think it's a disrespect, and I think it is a cowardly act of Alex Jones not to be facing me here in this courtroom.
Jones appeared in court later Tuesday.
I don't think that you understand the repercussions of going on air with a huge audience and lying.
Shaking his head as Lewis spoke to him directly.
Jesse was real. I am a real mom. I know you know that. That's the problem. I know you know that. And you keep saying it. You keep saying it. Why?
The judge appearing to grow frustrated with Jones's attitude during the hearing.
I remember currently...
Stop. Remember day one where I said, it's an unfair world and you don't get to interrupt the judge?
That's a woman judge. That's why women should not be allowed to serve in court. That's obviously because I'm a patriot and I said the truth that I said. A woman judge is going to try to take me down. Just like divorce court took me down one time, ladies and gentlemen. AlexJones.com, Infowars.com. Women judges should be made illegal.
Sure. Yeah.
Jones attempted to speak with the parents after taking the stand, shaking hands with them. An attorney for the family quickly ended the interaction, exchanging words with Jones on the way out of the courtroom.
I wasn't kidding. I know this, by the way. For the record, I do know this. Alex Jones said the judge and the plaintiff's lawyers in the Sandy Hook trial all act demonically possessed and are committed to an occult ideology of the New World Order.
Thank you for joining us on this live Tuesday worldwide transmission. I have a stack of Washington Post, New York Times articles, and other headlines where they say, can we shut Alex Jones down? And where they admit the goal of the 4 Sandy Hook trials they have lined up that have now started to shut us down. Then they brag on CNN and MSNBC with top Democrat officials that the goal is to set this pattern with Alex Jones and then go after everybody else.
I'm sorry that it's 1P, boys. Okay, just shut the fuck up and listen. Okay, just listen. Just listen. Just listen. Just how about you listen?
They say Fox News is next. Have articles where they talk about we're taking down OAN. Soon we'll get Fox News. They're going to come for everybody. These are authoritarians. That's why they had to default me in all 4 cases, saying I turned over nothing. While they sit there and show the juries that are deciding how guilty I am, not if I'm guilty or innocent, showing the juries all these emails and all these videos that we turned over to them while the judge tells them every day, twice.
You know what's really funny about this? He's just describing how, like, fact-finding works. Okay? He's literally just describing how, like, the normal court procedure would work in a defamation suit like this. And he's the one who is, you know, this is the evidence that you have to present to a jury and the judge on a fucking trial. Like, he's literally just describing discovery. But because you're supposed to go, oh, yeah, well, that's Alex. Like, he's a good guy. I love him. He's right. You just don't even think about it like that. You just go, oh, man, you know, that's right. That's really fucked up that they're, you know, hurting my man like
today.
this.
Remember, this man's guilty. You're here to decide how guilty he is. He didn't give us anything. He's a bad person. Even in third world.
Dude, every chatter in here is such a fucking spoiler alert, Andy. Can I just go through the fucking story at the pace I want to? Yes, if you're sending a fucking link with Alex Jones's lawyers involved in text messages, you think I don't fucking know this already? You're not the first to bring it up. Let me just walk through it. This is called pacing, okay? I'm pacing through the story. Can you stop trying to be the first guy to, like, fucking cuck the content here? Yes, we're going to get to the thing that you're all collectively sending.
World dictatorships, when they have kangaroo courts, they don't have the judge tell the jury this person is guilty. But she says up there, it's a special case. And they're all caricatures of what you would imagine in some alternate universe of dwarf goblins. It's demonic. They all act demonically possessed. The judge, the lawyers, it's surreal to be around them. And it makes you feel sorry for them because these people are committed to a cult ideology of the New World Order. And they're never going to stop. They're getting rid of all the checks and balances, all of our basic freedoms. They've gutted the border. They're promoting pedophilia everywhere. They are just
Bro, if I was under a fucking defamation suit, I probably wouldn't call the judge a pedophile. You know what I mean? Like, when you're currently on trial for defamation and you're getting your ass blasted, okay? Why the fuck would you turn around and be like, the judges are doing pedophilia, they're pedophile, demonic monsters? Like, he just can't stop himself, I think. Do you still think he's CIA? Yes. He went in double down. That's why you aren't as great a showman. I am not as great a showman as Alex Jones. That's true. I have said time and time again that Alex Jones would be an incredible performance artist, and he was an incredible performance artist. The problem is that we as a society are not equipped to just take in what Alex Jones is doing as performance art and just like appreciate his mental illness. We are also collectively so mentally ill that we listen to him and we go, well, this guy is not just entertaining, he's also right. And I must act. I must act out his desires. Do you understand? You guys know that I am a gigantic a fan of Alex Jones, like straight up. I have talked time and time again The best evidence that Alex Jones is a true conspiracy guy is that he could have easily hired a top-tier firm to capably represent him, but he doesn't trust the establishment, so instead he hired a parade of bumbling morons who immediately tanked both their case and their careers. Which, by the way, this is what I need to explain to you. Alex Jones is a brilliant, brilliant entertainer, okay? Anyone who has done anything in the entertainment industry will recognize that if you are able to separate the artist from the art. And I'm not the only one who felt this way. I mean, that's why he made appearances in A Scanner Darkly and plenty of other movies originally. You know what I mean? Like, it's just true. But the issue is, of course, that, you know, he takes it way too fucking far. Way too fucking far. And he's also a gigantic piece of shit with respect to, like, how much he makes money. Okay? With how he makes money. All of his bits, I guess, or all of his conspiracy theories genuinely revolve around making money for himself. We'll talk about how the frogs are being turned gay by government water, and then immediately after that, he'll use that as an opportunity to say, here's how you can, you know, not get fucking owned by government water and turn into a homosexual by getting some of my straws, like the water cleansing straws, right? So that's how he makes his money. And for the record, he makes a lot of it, okay? I just need you to understand something here. Like, when I found out through discovery, through following this court case, how much money this motherfucker was making, it blew my goddamn mind, okay? Real top G behavior. Folks, Alex Jones made upwards of $800,000 a fucking day, according to court documents. The texts and emails are finally revealing financials behind Infowars. Some days in 2018, Infowars was making $800,000 a day. Well, after you're deplatforming, your numbers keep getting better, says the Sandy Hook parents' lawyer. If they keep that up, that's $300 million a year. Alex Jones says $800,000 a day was a really good week during CPAC, where they were doing better business. Just want to add that Alex Jones's latent cough came back in full force when his own text, which he didn't know Sandy Hook's parents had access to, appeared on a screen full of courtroom, and he was asked to read one. And the only reason why we know this information is because Alex Jones decided to do the Elon Musk thing, shouts out to Felix Biederman for this joke, and hired fucking Twitter lawyers, I guess, because his team is so incompetent. Remember, we're talking about $800,000 a day this motherfucker was making, okay, in 2018. $800,000 in one fucking day. That's like XQC doesn't make that kind of money. You understand? A couple things I must say about this is, one, time and time again, I have told you, it is infinitely easier to become a reactionary, right-wing grifter than it is to be a fucking left-wing broadcaster, even if you are not a grifter, okay? The idea that anyone who's dumb enough to fucking try to become a grifter on the left is hilarious. As you have seen, as I talked about yesterday, left-wing grifters get fucking owned by the FBI. Right-wing grifters become Alex Jones and interview the fucking president, who then becomes the fucking president. How do you feel about Alex Jones making over $800K per day after getting deplatformed after a week of annoying people telling you to stop platforming Andrew Tate? I don't even want to fucking talk about that comparison. We have lied, stolen, looked badly, and used God's name in vain, so repent and trust in Christ, for he saved you hell on the cross for you. Someone sounds jealous? Brother, I am incredibly financially secure as a consequence of my wonderful community and how sizable this community has been. and the dedicated fucking support I get, not only emotionally, okay, but also financially. That is the reason why I can say whatever the fuck I want without being in fear, without ever caving to editorial control. Okay? I don't sell you shit. You have the capacity to subscribe if you want to, but you don't have to, as you all know. Okay? Alex Jones, on the other hand, is routinely lying and also on top of that fucking selling shit. Do you think deplatforming Jones still limited his audience even if he made more money off of it? Yes, I do. I do think that. I do think that deplatforming Alex Jones was good, ultimately. What you also don't understand is that Alex Jones still had a gigantic fucking platform in AM radio. He was all over. And he still had a vast amount of support, like a vast amount of support from right-wing reactionaries who would go on his show. The president was on his show, man. Now, part of the reason why we know that is because, and here, finally, it's time to show you this big reveal. His fucking law team are comprised of absolute idiots, okay?
So you did get my text messages, and it said you didn't. Nice trick.
Yes, Mr. Jones. Oh. Indeed. You didn't give this text message to me. You don't know where this came from. Do you know where I got this?
No.
Mr. Jones, did you know that 12 days ago, your attorneys messed up and sent me an entire digital copy of your entire cell phone with every text message you've sent for the past 2 years, and when informed, did not take any steps to identify it as privileged or protect it in any way. And as of 2 days ago, it fell free and clear into my possession. And that is how I know you lied to me when you said you didn't have text messages about Sandy Hook. Did you know that?
I told you the truth. This is your Perry Mason moment. I gave them my phone, and then...
Mr. Jones, you need to answer the question.
No,
Did you know this happened?
No, I didn't know this happened. But I mean, I told you I gave them the phone over. Just
answer the question.
You said in your deposition, you searched your phone. You said you pulled down the text and did the search engine for Sandy Hook. That's what you said, Mr. Jones, correct?
And I had several different phones with this number, but I did, yeah. Well, of course, I mean, that's why you got it.
No, Mr. Jones, that's not why.
My lawyer sent it to you, but I'm hiding it. Okay.
Mr. Jones?
Mr. Jones,
please just answer questions. There's no question.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's that. Oh, I forgot to mention. Oh, that's right. Child porn was found in documents Alex Jones sent to lawyers of Sandy Hook families, according to the court filing. Oh, man. Oh, my, oh, my. How the fucking turntables? Send Hot Chips and Gnome Chomsky and Elements of Style. Thank you for the gifted subs. Dynamic Jab and a Small Taco. Thank you for the gifted subs as well. Now this is the older fucking article. The treasure trove. The absolute treasure trove of data that we are going to get. This is from 2019. The absolute treasure trove of data that hasn't been completed. Now that his lawyers didn't even try to fucking say that this discovery should be taken out, that they accidentally sent the entirety of text messages and everything else that they fucking sent over to the Sandy Hook lawyers and the Sandy Hook families. Oh my Lord, dude.
Mr. Bankston also only asked questions.
Sure. Mr. Jones, in discovery, You were asked, do you have Sandy Hook text messages on your phone? And you said no, correct? You said that under oath, Mr. Jones, didn't you?
I mean, if I was mistaken, I was mistaken, but you got the message.
He's like, yeah, I perjured myself, whatever.
It's right there.
You know what perjury is, right? I just want to make sure you know before we go any further. You know what it is.
Yes, I do. I mean, I'm not a tech guy. I told you, I gave in my testimony the phone to the lawyers before or whatever, and so you got my phone, but we didn't give it to you.
No, Mr. Jones. One more time. And please remember, if you need to assert the Fifth Amendment, you can. I need to know that you can do that. But you testified.
Keep going, and I don't think Joe Rogan will invite you on. I mean, what do you want me to do? I don't know if they fucking did this shit on purpose, but goddamn, dude, it sure feels like it was done on purpose considering how fucking awful they are. I mean, look at his face, bro. This is literally the moment that he realizes, like, they have all of his text messages, like everything from his fucking phone. Every single thing from his phone. Right here. Please, Lord, please pull off the hat trick and find messages to trans women wanting to hook up on Alex Jones' phone. Bro, we already know he's a fucking chaser. What do you mean? We already know he's a chaser. We know he's a chaser, dude. Remember his fucking... Dude, so was that other Nazi fuck. They're all chasers. Everyone that fucking talks about trans people in the way that they do, like, about how devastating and dangerous trans people are, unironically, half of those dudes just are upset that they want to fuck trans women. And they think that that makes them gay. They think that there's something wrong with them. And that is part of the motivating reason as to why they want to be so fucking brutal. Not every single transphobe is a chaser, but there are plenty of fucking transphobic people that are. Chasers are people who objectify and want to fuck trans people and like can only get off the fucking trans porn and that makes them gay and now they're going to make it everyone else's problem. Exactly. And now it turns out January 6th committee is planning to request Alex Jones's text messages and emails from the Sandy Hook attorneys after his lawyer accidentally sent years worth of comms to the plaintiffs, dude. So, you know, it ain't over, boys. It ain't over. Hold on 1 second. Let me just run that back again. That's right. So Alex Jones might be facing a criminal prosecution on top of this defamation suit. That's right, baby. That's fucking right. Rarely ever do you see this kind of karmic justice. But I guess after fucking up for so many goddamn years and you know, making up the $800,000 a day off of it, you end up, you know, slipping through the cracks no matter how fucking fat you are. Just saying. Does he just have the worst lawyers in the world? Yes. The January 6th House Committee is preparing to request the trove of Alex Jones' text messages and emails revealed Wednesday in a defamation lawsuit filed by the victims of the Sandy Hook massacre. Rolling Stone has learned on Wednesday, Sandy Hook victims attorney Mark Bankston told Jones that his attorney had mistakenly sent Bankston 3 years worth of the conspiracy theorist emails and text messages copied from his phone. Okay. Now, a source familiar with the matter and another person briefed on it tell Rolling Stone the January 6th committee is preparing to request that data from the plaintiff attorneys in order to aid its investigation of the insurrection. These internal deliberations among the committee, which is probing the former President Donald Trump's role in causing the deadly January 6th Capitol riot, began within minutes of the lawyer's revelation being heard on the trial's live stream on Wednesday afternoon. And you already know this motherfucker is heavily involved in January 6th. Jones is already featured prominently in the panel's investigation for his role in whipping up the public support for the insurrection and for his close ties to alleged conspirator Stuart Rhodes, the leader of the Oath Keepers militia. Jones frequently hosted Rhodes as a guest on his Infowars channel, and his militia provided security for the Texas-based conspiracist. The committee initially subpoenaed Jones in November 2021 and asked him to turn over documents and participate in a deposition. Jones, according to a letter sent to the committee, was initially told by the White House that he was to lead a march to the Capitol where President Trump would meet with protesters. It's unclear what specifically the committee will be looking for in the Jones communication, but attorneys with the Sandy Hook plaintiffs have accused the Infowars host of intentionally withholding relevant information, relevant communications about the Sandy Hook shooting, and lying about having conducted a search for them. A committee spokesman declined to comment. The documents were turned over by Jones' attorney, who did not take any steps to identify it as privileged or protected in any way, and as of 2 days ago, it fell free and clear into my possession, Bankston told Jones on court on Wednesday. That is how I know you lied to me. How incredible. This is convincing me that Alex Jones is CIA. Now they have texts with fash gangs. All I'm saying is, I've been under the impression and have talked about how I personally believe that Alex Jones is fucking CIA, and that his goal ultimately is to belittle and undermine real conspiracies that the government engages in regularly by having one good take in a sea of 1,000 psychotic takes to make it seem like every time you say something like, well, you know, did you know about the MK Ultra trials? It's like, well, the only person who's talking about it is someone like fucking Alex Jones. So ultimately, you're going to be like, well, he also talks about psychotic pedophile vampires and shit. So obviously, all of that must be fake. Alex Jones is a fake conspiracy theorist created by the CIA to ensure that real government conspiracies, conspiracy to conspire, you know what I mean? I'm not talking about fucking conspiracy theories. Real things that the government does makes it seem ridiculous because the only person who's outing said things is a belligerent, psychotic person with high blood pressure. L-Take is just a dumbass. I don't know, man. I don't know. And by the way, PFD commenter and myself 100% agree on this for the record. This is what we originally were going to talk about. I should DM him and be like, let's do it. L-Take, you give him too much credit. I'm just saying, dude. If he was CIA, he would have half-decent lawyers. No, the CIA is woke now. Okay? The CIA is fucking woke now, so now they're turning on one of their old assets. There is that theory that if Alex Jones didn't exist, the CIA would invent him, so there is a possibility. Take people who think he's not CIA or sheep. Come on, brother. How did the Zapatistas tie into this then? Why would a CIA asset buy from their law? What? Are you fucking insane? The CIA, when it comes to international operations, is an equal opportunity jobs provider. They will work with anyone and any person they can. They'll work with fucking leftists too every now and then. Why the fuck wouldn't they? Who gives a shit? They fund everybody. I've told you this before. They arm everyone. They don't give a fuck. They more often than not work with the Taliban. They more often than not work with reactionary groups, right? But they'll still fucking work with, I mean, they'll work with anarchists. Who do you think fucking trained the Kurdish militias, dude? Like, where did that come from? You think they just like fucking personally learned how to use those weapons? Like, no, of course they were fucking trained by the CIA. It's true. How did that happen? How did the YPG get arms and also training? How did that happen? Yeah. Those were benevolent volunteer American veterans. Yeah, just like those same guys in the fucking cargo pants. Just like those same guys in cargo pants in Ukraine. You know what I mean? Remember those guys? Remember those guys that were like talking to fucking Anderson Cooper? That were in suspiciously good shape despite being like many, many years out of military service? Suspiciously. Just, you know, they just had like, they suspiciously were in great shape and they just love wearing cargo pants. They were just benevolent ex-military volunteers that were there to, you know, teach the Ukrainian military how to use the new American toys they got. It's just called working out, Lamau. I'm just saying, like, YPG, so you're saying Brace Society? No, of course not, dude. Obviously not. But just ask Brace if he thinks that he who the trainers were for the YPG. I'm sure he will. I mean, don't ask him that; he'll get annoyed. But like, have you heard him talk about who the Americans are? I've talked to him about it on my podcast and shit. Yeah, I worked with Ludwig before he joined Hamas. Anyway, yes, I know a U.S. congressperson fucking died in a car crash, okay? I don't care about that right now. I don't care. Stop. I think you are CIA shifting the blame Alex Jones. Yeah, me, famously. I am an asset, of course. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, let's continue with the trial coverage here, okay? Because there's still a lot that went into this incredible trial. I don't care about the reaction to Alex Jones, but here.
Jones outside court continued to say the families were being manipulated. For Lewis and Heslin, their son's life and death was very real.
He did live. I was blessed with him for 6.5 years. He's been gone 1.5 times. But I cherish those days, those years with Jesse.
For CBS Mornings, Janet Shamley in Houston.
I'm speechless.
There are no words. There are no words.
You know, one of the parents said, it's like losing a limb. Like, I know it's supposed to be there, but it's not there.
My heart just goes out to those families who, after all these years, are still suffering and are still in pain and are still going through this trauma.
And the record.
Anyway, let's see. There's more. Let's look at some of the best moments from. Let's look at some of the best moments from the Alex Jones trial thus far.
Mr. Jones, you may not say to this jury that you complied with discovery. That is not true. You may not say it again. You may not tell this jury that you are bankrupt. That is also not true. You may have filed for bankruptcy. I don't know that, but I've heard that. That doesn't make a person or a company bankrupt.
I mean, easy on the attacks there, Sweaty. You're clearly dealing with a neurodivergent person. You know what I mean? Like, he's a pathological liar. He can't stop himself. I mean, you're just going to really shit on a man because he can't fucking stop himself from lying? Like, okay, well, it's kind of fucked up. And you know, don't ask me if he's neurodivergent. Alex Jones says it himself, you know, famously, both on the Joe Rogan Experience, but also even in the court.
Look, here's the thing.
Fine. Listen,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
So there's that. But also, he said that in court as well.
You're already under oath to tell the truth. You've already violated that oath twice today in just those two examples. It seems absurd to instruct you again that you must tell the truth while you testify, yet here I am. You must tell the truth while you testify. This is not your show. You need to slow down and not take what you see as opportunities to further the message you're wanting to further. And instead, only answer the specific and exact question you have been asked. No asides. The comments about discovery, the comments about the larynx or whatever it was, the comments about bankruptcy, none of those were responsive to questions. They were just you abusing my tolerance and making asides to the jury improperly and in at least two cases, untruthfully. Do you understand what I have said? Yes or no? Do you understand what I have said?
Yes, I believe what I said was true. So I don't.
Yes, you believe everything you say is true, but it isn't. Your beliefs do not make something true. That is what we're doing here. Just because you claim to think something is true does not make it true. It does not protect you. It is not allowed. You are under oath. That means things must actually be true when you say them. Don't talk. You understand what I have said.
I do understand.
You understand the instructions I have given you for your testimony in court.
Yes.
I'm not going to bring the jury back today. My staff is listening. They can let the jury go home.
What the fuck are they looking at over there?
We'll start back up tomorrow. When you come back to testify tomorrow, one more time, no asides. You understand what I mean when I say no asides?
Yes.
Answer only the question asked of you. Do you understand what I mean when I say only answer the question asked of you?
Yes.
You understand you will still be under oath when you return tomorrow morning
Yes.
to complete your testimony. All right. And you understand that that means you must only testify about things that are true.
To the best of my knowledge.
If you don't know something, you don't say it. If you're asked about your opinion, you can give your opinion. But if you're asked to relate something that's truthful and a fact, it must.
Oh, here. This was the Alex Jones court chat, by the way. Praying for you, Alex. We love you and deserve to speak your First Amendment right. The way the courts are treating you is out of line. # free Alex Jones. And then the other person saying, the real Alex Jones is not even there. Which is true. It's true. How could he be doing his broadcast and also be in court at the same time? You know what I mean?
Must be truthful and a fact, not an assumption, not a guess, not an opinion. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. You can.
All right, let's continue. Oh shit. So he starts coughing whenever they ask him to read text messages.
Sure.
One of the things you talked about yesterday is you complied with discovery, right? You said that on the witness stand?
That's one of the things I talked about.
Okay. One of the things that you were ordered to do in this lawsuit nor ordered to turn over any text messages mentioning Sandy Hook, right?
Yes.
And you didn't have any, right?
Not that we could find.
And you in fact told me in your testimony, sworn testimony before coming to this courtroom, you searched, right?
I did.
Okay. Do you remember, were you here for Mr. Schroeder's testimony?
Yes.
Okay. You remember when Owen said, the company has learned from its mistakes about Sandy Hook? You remember that?
I did hear him say that.
You agree with that?
Yeah, we certainly learned from our mistakes, got a lot better.
Okay. Mr. Jones, I'd like to show you what's been marked as plaintiff's exhibit 130. You've got it upside down. That's text messages between you and Paul Watson, isn't it?
Yes.
And they mention Sandy Hook, don't they?
Yes.
Plaintiffs move 130 into evidence.
Any objection?
What's that? Show you where what?
No objection.
Plaintiff's 130 is admitted.
Can you bring up 130 for resolution? Let's zoom in on the little article up in the corner, please. I'm going to walk over to this to you so we can kind of point it. I know it's a little hard to read. You may be able to read it a little better on your screen. But this is a zoom of Mr. Watson has sent you a screenshot from Infowars.com, correct?
It appears to be.
Yeah, and it has an article here, right?
Yes.
And it says, staged. Video shows hospital using dummies in ER for coronavirus footage. You know what it says?
I believe so.
They're saying that the coughing is only when he's like under pressure he starts coughing, which is like a really cool and fun way to try it, I think. It's a really cool and fun way to try and get yourself out of a pinch, is like strategically being like, oh, I can't read those text messages, I'm coughing.
Let's go to the first message from Mr. Watson.
I'm blasting lung darts outside. Folks, ladies and gentlemen, Infowars.com, AlexJones.com, I'm blasting lung darts, okay? I'm smoking gars. He's a gar boy. Big gar boy, you know?
Read along with me, Mr. Jones. He says, this is a video.
Sorry, excuse me 1 second.
No problem. Take your time. You ready?
Yeah, this, you may not think it's a problem, but it's a real one.
Sure.
Just give me a second. All right, go ahead.
Mr. Watson says, this is a video of a medical student training to intubate. Makes us look ridiculous, suggesting this means COVID is fake. Sandy Hook all over again. I read that correctly?
Yes.
Go to the next message.
I love that they're having internal conversations about like, dude, come on, bro. You went too far. You went full. You know what I mean? You went full silly Billy. Never go full silly Billy. That's the convo that they're having back and forth internally. You know what I mean? And Alex probably's like, I don't give a fuck. Because when everyone's a silly Billy, you can go full silly Billy. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how it works, right? And their fucking full silly Billiness has actually unironically benefited them. Remember, these guys made $800,000 a day. Okay? The only grift you hear here, and this broadcast at the top of the hour ad break, which comes at the top of the hour every hour, a 60-second ad break, which is not even a fucking real paywall. And you can even avoid it by subscribing for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. Okay? That's right. Pecker Protector Sohaib, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Annabot, thank you for the 5 gifted subs as well. allowing 10 people to no longer see the ads. You can also get gifted a sub if you're lucky. If not, you can subscribe on your own and make your own luck by subscribing for $5, or if you don't have $5, for free with a Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. Here's the 1-minute ad break now. Right. I still don't understand the point of this court session. What's going on here? What's going on here in this court session is that Alex Jones is being sued by the Sandy Hook parents for defamation, for things that he has said about how Sandy Hook was fake. And he's getting his ass beat. He's getting his shit pushed in. He's getting his guts currently rearranged on trial.
What'd you tell Mr. Watson?
No, it is not a criminal case. It's a civilian case, or it's a civil case. Civilian. And there might actually be a fucking serious criminal case that's attached to it now, as we found out, because the January 6th committee now has access to a treasure trove of data that the Alex Jones trial team gave to the other side's lawyers for free on accident. 2 years of emails and text messages from that same time frame, like from the 2020, all the way leading up to the January 6th, all the way to the January 6th insurrection. So now the January 6th committee, which originally subpoenaed Alex Jones, is asking for that treasure trove of data, considering that his team didn't even fucking make that information privileged. They literally leaked it, basically.
I get it.
Mr. Jones, it's true that this article is right now live on Infowars.com. I can pull it up, right?
I've never seen this text message. I guess you guys got Paul's. My phone didn't save them. So that's fine with me.
Your phone didn't save the second.
I told you guys I gave it to the lawyers and said they drained the phone, they didn't find that stuff. I don't know how my phone's.
Who gave it to the lawyers? They were supposed to find it. So that's what testimony is?
No, I searched it as well. I mean, so you guys have all this stuff and you say we didn't give anything. It's
Mr.
ridiculous.
Jones, you know how an iPhone works, right? You've had iPhone text messaging for several years now.
Yeah.
What does it mean if the messages are in blue? Whose messages are those? Whose phone is this taken from?
I don't know whose phone's taken from. I mean,
It's yours, dumbass.
Take the stuff off.
Can I have you look in the very bottom below the very bottom left corner? Is that your phone number?
Yes. So you did get my text messages. And it said you didn't. Nice trick.
Yes, Mr. Jones.
Oh.
Indeed. You didn't give this text message to me. You don't know where this came from. Do you know where I got this?
No.
Mr. Jones, did you know that 12 days ago, your attorneys messed up and sent me an entire digital copy of your entire cell phone with every text message you've sent for the past 2 years, and when informed, did not take any steps to identify it as privileged or protect it in any way. And as of 2 days ago, it fell free and clear into my possession. And that is how I know you lied to me when you said you didn't have a text message about Sandy Hook. Did you know that?
I told you the truth. This is your Perry Mason moment. I gave them my phone, and then
Mr. Jones, you need to answer the question.
No,
Did you know this happened?
No, I didn't know this happened. But I mean, I told you I gave them the phone over.
But just
And
answer
you
the
said,
question.
you said in your deposition, you searched your phone. You said you pulled down the text, did the search function for Sandy Hook. That's what you said, Mr. Jones, correct?
And I had several different phones with this number, but I did, yeah. Well, of course, I mean, that's why you got it.
No, Mr. Jones, that's not what happened.
My lawyer sent it to you, but I'm hiding it. Okay.
Mr. Jones,
Mr. Jones, that?
Please just answer questions. There's no question. Mr. Bankston also only asks questions.
Sure. Mr. Jones, in discovery, you were asked, do you have Sandy Hook text messages on your phone? And you said no, correct? You said that under oath, Mr. Jones, didn't you?
I mean, if I was mistaken, but you got the messages right there.
You know what perjury is, right? I just want to make sure you know before we go any further. You know what it is.
Yes, I do. I mean, I'm not a tech guy. I told you, I gave in my testimony the phone to the lawyers before, whatever, and so you got my phone, but we didn't give it to you.
No, Mr. Jones. One more time. And please remember, if you need to assert the Fifth Amendment, you can. I need to know that you can do that. But you testified under oath previously that you personally searched your phone for the phrase Sandy Hook and there were no messages. You said that under oath.
Yes.
And you lied when you said it.
No, I did not lie.
Emails. You testified yesterday you don't have it. You got rid of your email 10 years ago.
Infowars email.
Yeah, oh, so now it's Infowars. You do use email though, don't you?
It's like household stuff and things like that.
So it's
I don't personally send emails.
Sure.
My assistant does, and it's for like, broken sprinklers or whatever.
Okay. So you don't have emails about Sandy Hook? You don't have emails about this case?
You got hundreds of thousands of our emails.
None from you. And I didn't get hundreds of thousands of emails. Most of those, in fact, you would agree with me, nearly every email you've produced to me outside of maybe 100 are emails of Wolfgang Halbig and Jim Hudson. Because they sent you thousands of emails, right?
I mean, I quit opening email and using it before Sandy Hook.
Okay. So, in other words, if somebody was to tell me, oh, I have emails from Mr. Jones that he wrote about this case in the past couple of years, that person would be lying? You're telling the truth?
Somebody else has got my Infowars email because I haven't been using it
That's not qualified, Mr. Jones. You know in this case you were asked to produce your emails, any emails you had about Sandy Hook. You know you were asked to do that, right?
Yeah.
And you said you didn't have any.
I told my IT people, go, you've got all that stuff.
No, Mr. Jones, I'm saying in deposition, under oath, sworn to God, you said you don't have any emails with Sandy Hook because you don't use email, right?
I mean, I think I have. I mean, I haven't been using Infowars email, and it's got to be a decade or longer in my memory. We're with Infowars.com,
No, Mr. Jones.
Why'd he stop coughing, you think? What happened? Well, is there a particular reason why he stopped coughing? I mean, he's still getting fucked. I wonder if the dick that went down his throat cleared it up a little bit.
No.
Hey, thank you, Andrew Filer, for the 10 gifted, and thank you, Anila, for the 5 gifted.
It's not what I'm asking. You notice when Mr. Watson emailed you, right? He didn't have an Infowars email address, does he? He has like paulwatson@sky.com. It's a UK email address. Did you notice
Yes.
that? Right. We asked for all emails, and you told us you don't use email, and there are no emails for Sandy Hook. That's what you said under oath, isn't it?
There might be. I'm sure there might be like privileged emails where like lawyers requesting documents or stuff about the case.
Mr. Jones.
Yeah.
First, objection non-responsive.
Sustained.
Did you testify under oath that you do not use email and that there are no responsive emails relating to this case? Did you testify to that?
Yes, I personally do not get on the internet and sit there and use email. I never send emails myself because I don't like it. I can't stand it. There's just too many of them. That's a fact that I don't use email. I call people on the telephone.
Okay. Your Honor, excuse me, Mr. Jones. I'll show you this document.
Watch him keep coughing now.
Is that your email address?
Yes.
Did you write an email?
Yeah, I know. I already mentioned it. Yeah.
Is that
Alex Jones was fighting to stop the January 6th committee from getting his phone metadata. And now his lawyers fucking basically handed it to the Sandy Hook team So now the Sandy Hook team is going to literally hand it over to the January 6th committee.
Is that an email, Mr. Jones?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jones. So
I'm not reading it. This is from, what's this have to do with Sandy Hook?
I'm not asking you a question other than that's an email you've sent. Let's start there. Can you do that? Can you say that's an email you sent?
I must have dictated that to my assistant.
Okay, so there are, you would agree with me, there are emails, I got a little thing, I'm done with that. There are emails that you've sent to your lawyers, your staff, and others concerning your business operations that we requested for, Sandy Hook, other topics that have been requested in this lawsuit, like Zero Hedge. You'd agree those emails, they exist. Do you agree to that or not?
I've dictated emails to people, and you guys have gone and gotten other people to give you their emails. But that is my personal email that I use for personal stuff. Has nothing to do with Sandy Hook, unless lawyers have sent me emails there that my assistant prints off for me. I don't know what you've cut off or on.
Does it matter? Is there anything before and after that that would make it great to show pictures of our judge on fire and telling the world she's involved in pedophile? Can you tell me the context that would occur before or after?
This motherfucker was trying so hard. It's like he's trying to lose. He went. Not only did he perjure himself on like no emails, no text messages, whatever, he lied, but he also went on his show and said the judge was a pedophile, dude. Like, I showed you the segment earlier. It was the 1P segment that we watched, where he's currently in a fucking defamation court case, and he went on fucking his show during the trial and said the judge is a pedophile. Like, there is, what do you do about this man? I can't. It's like, it is beyond the scope of comprehension. It is beyond the realm of reason. What do you do to this man? And worse, and I cannot stress this enough. He has an army. Like, this man who is this fucking stupid, who is this fucking unhinged, has a revenue stream that is $800,000 a day at certain points in 2018 during CPAC. Do you understand? He was at the January 6th insurrection rallying his troops for Donald Trump. He has had the previous president, Donald Trump, on his fucking broadcast. This is America. This is how bad things really are. Okay? And I still have dudes who goes, what if he's a pedophile? Aw, you jelly. Some of you need to be euthanized. Okay? It's just like you need a lobotomy. You need a medically induced procedure that stops you. Okay? Like, if you're that unhinged and you're like, so what if he's a pedophile? You need to get a fucking lobotomy. We got to bring that shit back like JFK. You know what I'm saying? Not like the JFK lobotomy. That was different. I'm talking about the other Kennedy that got lobotomized. It's crazy, man.
That makes sense.
I'm sorry.
Excuse me. Sorry.
I believe you. If you're only wanting to go off 5 seconds, I believe the thing is, the judge is the fire burning Lady Liberty. It's not the judge. The judge is consuming freedom.
Wouldn't you agree with me, Mr. Jones, that I sure hope some of your viewers are able to make that distinction that you just put on the air, don't you?
Object to the
All I know is-
speculation, Your Honor.
Withdraw.
is that I take this very
Saying
serious.
and withdrawn, so stop.
Tell this jury you're taking this trial seriously. But you're telling the world that someone inside Travis County government rigged the jury summons and picked these jurors specifically who don't know what planet they are on. Correct? That's what you're telling the world.
I'm saying that could potentially be a danger if they don't know what's going on.
I think that's potentially, is what you're saying. Potentially.
Bro, he was already omega fucked to begin with, but there is nothing funnier than being on a defamation suit where being on trial for defamation, where like your words impacted the lives of Sandy Hook victims to a degree where you are being successfully sued, and what your fans did after your unhinged sentiments, like directly your fucking action and reaction in that situation is why you're on trial. There's nothing funnier than continuing to do the exact same thing about the fucking judge and the jury. Like, there is nothing. I don't know what to say. It's like if he was being sued for like fucking vehicular manslaughter and then he somehow escaped and tried to run over the judge's son in his car. Like, I wasn't doing that, but here I am now. Like, what the and then doing it to the jury, too. He can't fucking help himself, dude. It is so insane.
You didn't go on your show and say those words, is what you're going to tell me.
Can you show me?
I would be happy to. For
Please
the
do.
purposes of impeachment, we would like to now offer a video from Mrs. Jones' show on Friday saying those words.
The funniest part about this trial, though, is that his fucking fan base is so mentally ill, so incredibly deranged, that he could just as easily be like, I was deep fake, that wasn't me in trial, and they would believe it. You understand? There was a deep fake. It wasn't me on trial. And his fan base would be like, yeah, that's right. That's actually right. He has a fan base? Bro, January 6th was his fan base. What do you mean he has a fan base? Here's some fun facts about Alex Jones that bears repeating because a lot of people just simply don't understand that if you can't see it, that must not mean that he's big. Okay? The president was on his fucking broadcast. He made $800,000 a day off of his revenue streams directly from Infowars.com. Okay? $800,000 a day. Dude, this is my lawyer, dog. I'm going to jail after the January 6th committee finds all my fucking text messages, okay? By the way. I mean, look at this man.
We'd object to impeachment on a collateral matter in 403, Your Honor.
Overruled.
This time, let's go ahead and play that video PDX 35.
Yeah, a lot of people are awake to the New World Order, but they're experts in leftist jurisdictions in sending out jury summons and hitting, let's just say this, extremely blue-collar folks. I mean, half that jury panel does not know who I am. They said that, and when they were asked during the jury impaneling yesterday, do you believe the media has ever got anything wrong about Alex Jones? They all unanimously said no. So, it's people do live in all these different bubbles. And there's the bubbles that are awake and the bubbles that are questioning, but then there's the blue city bubbles where people do not know what planet they are on.
Mr. Jones, you don't like that.
Why are they platforming Alex Jones in the court? Can't believe they're showing Alex Jones in the court case. Why are they platforming him?
This jury is made up of blue-collar folk. You think that's wrong?
No, I don't think that.
You don't think they know what planet they're on?
I'm saying some people, like you said in your opening statements, that live in bubbles. We all live in bubbles. And if people live in a mainstream media bubble, they might not have ever seen what I really say or done. That's what I was saying.
I understand that you've been unable to attend a good portion of this trial due to a malfunction. Is that correct?
Only a few, some of it, yes.
Sure. And you told the press outside of this courthouse that it was because of an untreated hernia?
Well, I'm going to have to get that taken care of and a bunch of other stuff.
It's absolutely inappropriate for Mr. Bankston to question Mr. Jones about his health issues. He wasn't under subpoena. He didn't have to be here. It's private information, what is right or wrong with his health.
It wasn't private.
Okay. Mr. Jones has the right to talk about his health with anyone he wants. We don't. Other people don't. You can talk to him about attendance. He's not required to be here. It's his choice. But let's not go into his. Let's move on.
I hear you, Your Honor.
There wasn't a real legal objection. It's kind of a.
Okay. You've been on your show most of last week, pretty much every day last week?
I did an hour here. I taped some as well.
Okay. And you've been screaming and yelling on your show, right?
Yes, just like the media's been doing that.
Okay. Haven't been coughing on your show, have you? All these coughs in court, they don't happen on the full hour of your show. You don't ever cough, right?
I mean, I've got cough drops right here in my pocket. I've got laryngitis and a torn larynx. I mean, it comes and goes. It starts burning, and then it's uncontrollable. And I have actually been coughing a lot on air. If you guys been
Why aren't you coughing now, bitch?
watching my show, we'll have a cough
He only coughed when he's forced to read fucking text messages. Only that.
button I can step on and cough. There's a button I step on, and I've been hacking and coughing. It's 100% real.
You were talking about how you've done thousands of hours of programming, right?
More than that over the years, yes.
Not all of it's been about Sandy Hook, right? You talk about a lot of other stuff, right?
Oh, in our estimation, over 99+% has not been Sandy Hook.
I want to talk about some of the other stuff. Boston bombing. You said it was fake, a DHS drill.
Your Honor, we're going to object 403. No relevance to Sandy.
We can get into it some because it's been already introduced. Some.
Well, I'm going to show the pattern here. You're talking Boston bombing. You've been telling the world, fake, not real. A Department of Homeland Security drill, right?
There was a drill. I think real people got bombed. But we've asked questions on both sides here.
Yeah, you've said the exact opposite. You've in fact said that some of those people who were claimed to be injured were crisis actors in other tragedies. Just like in Sandy Hook, you said.
No, we reported on other people saying that.
And in fact, you've said about some of the people at Sandy Hook. During your coverage of Sandy Hook, you have said they were actually some of the people pretending to be injured in the Boston bombing. You said that.
I don't remember that.
Okay. Shooting of Representative Gabrielle Giffords. You remember when that happened in Arizona?
Yes.
Okay, and you said that was a government mind control operation, right?
I said the guy fit the bill.
Did you say he fit the bill, or did you tell your audience explicitly that was a government mind control operation? What did you do?
I didn't know you were going to bring this up. That was a long time ago.
What about the Sutherland Springs church shooting just down the road from here? That wasn't that long ago. You said that was fake, an Antifa false flag staged operation, right?
I believe we said that happened. No question, like Uvalde.
I love that. I love that. He's like, well, we admitted that happened. We just said it was Antifa. He's like, yeah, I got you there. I said Antifa did it. But that means somebody did it. I'm admitting that it happened. Okay? Not all of the shootings. I didn't say all the shootings were fake. The ones that were conducted and committed by Antifa were real.
So that's why the judge is rigging the court proceeding to make sure that the script, this is literally a script gets told in a certain way for future audiences.
Papa Bless 5, thank you for the 5 gifted. Old Safety Dad, thank you for the 5 gifted.
That man's name is Robert Barnes?
Yes.
Okay. That's Infowars?
Yes.
He was hosting your show on the 29th?
Dude, honestly, I forgot how extreme his stuff was. I never did. You want to know why? Because I watch him every night and every day. Also, Insta hard. I love that.
Yes.
Well, you were on the show for part of the 29th, correct? You were in the courtroom part of it, on your show part of it.
I believe so.
Okay. And Mr. Barnes, he's a frequent anchor on Infowars?
He's been a frequent guest for about 6 years or so.
He's also represented you in this case as an attorney?
Yes.
Okay. You say, Mr. Jones, that you're taking these court proceedings seriously. You're approaching them in good faith. But the truth of the matter is, you've been broadcasting repeatedly a picture of our judge on fire, haven't you?
Objection compound, Your Honor.
No.
You have to wait till the court rules.
Oh.
Overruled. There was a statement and then a question.
Mr. Jones, I'm going to hand you what I've marked as Plaintiff's Exhibit 129. That's from your show, isn't it?
I can't understand a better way to get fucking absolutely destroyed other than doing exactly this. Like, that is so insane. He's on trial for stochastic terrorism, like defamation that led to actual instances of like genuine and legitimate harassment. And he's trying to do that to the fucking judge. That is wild, bro. That is awesome. Like,
That's justice on fire.
Huh, okay. That's from your show, isn't it?
Yes, I haven't seen this.
And you've been running this video repeatedly, haven't you?
No, I've not been there all the time.
You haven't been there a lot of the time. You've been there every day this last week, haven't you?
he's saying that's justice itself, not the specific judge.
No, I taped some of the shows.
Even though I did say that the current lady judge is a pedophile demon. And by that I meant Lady Justice instead.
Been there today.
Your Honor, I'd like to move.
Yeah, it's like, it's awesome when he just like runs with like, no, it's actually Lady Justice. It's not the lady judge that is, in the court with me right now. Anila, thank you for the 5 get the subs. Taylor Bailey, 26, thank you for the 5 get the subs.
129 into evidence?
Is this impeachment evidence? Is this I'm not exactly sure what Mr. Bankston wants to do with.
I think he wants to impeach Mr. Jones with it.
Does he want to introduce it? Is it just to show to the jury, or does he want it to
No, I
go
think
into evidence?
I'm first moving to
moved it
admit it
into
as
evidence. He's moving that it be accepted into evidence. Do you have an objection?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is the legal objection?
401, 403.
Can I see it, please?
Yes, you may, Your Honor.
Plaintiff's 129 is admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. Can you just...
Wait, did she grant it or deny it?
Plaintiff's 129 is admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor.
denied, bitch. I'm saying the objection was denied. Therefore, it is still given. It will be shown to the jury. Dude, that's awesome. That's great. Literally no better way. No better way to, I mean, she's even fucking smiling at this point. It's like, no better way to get absolutely dicked down by the longest dick of the law than to just like make inferences and try to do the same thing you're on trial for to the fucking judge. I can't get over it. I cannot get over it. I can't. Like, it is so wild. It's like driving drunk to your drunk driving court case. And like driving drunk directly into the fucking room. Like driving your car to the fucking wall like the Kool-Aid man and be like, I'm not drunk. Your Honor.
Can you display 129? The person.
Yeah, that's Lady Justice on fire, chat. Hey, chat. That's Lady Justice on fire. He didn't mean like this judge should be lit on fire. Just Lady Justice. I can't do this. I mean, this is the most incredible. Like, this is like mathematically the worst thing you can do. I cannot think of a word, like, it's an admission. It's also a direct attack on the person who's deliberating on the case. Like, I don't understand how you could do such a thing. Do you get it? Like, your sense of entitlement has gone beyond the January 6th insurrectionists at this point. Right? Because remember how I talked about the entitlement that a lot of people felt, and that's why they thought like they could just go and be like, Derek Evans has penetrated the Capitol building. You know what I mean? Like live streaming yourself as a person running for fucking, a state legislature seat. During January 6th, we saw that people were just straight up like so entitled to what the government was supposed to do for them that they thought that they could get away with doing January 6th. Alex Jones has somehow gone beyond that, dude. He has gone beyond that. Thought as a horse in this race, shaking my head. Okay, chill, dude. I went on one time. No, I'm just kidding, by the way. This is not real. For those of you who don't know. I was mentioned on Infowars many, many times over by a lot of his cronies and even by the big man himself. One of the greatest moments of this broadcast history was when Hasan Piker was mentioned on the Alex Jones show for my America Deserved 9/11 comments. We'll watch that segment later. I mean, he's a legend. He's an icon as a broadcaster. I can separate the man from the art. You know what I mean? I can separate the artist from the art. I can. And we'll watch that clip after we're done with him getting fucking eviscerated.
On the left of this image is our judge, correct?
Yes.
The person on the right is another judge you don't like, right?
Yes.
Okay. One of the things you can take that down. One of the things you've been talking about a lot recently on your show, even within the past couple months, is your allegation that government officials are aiding in pedophilia, child trafficking, and the grooming of children, right?
You mean like what Jeffrey Epstein did with the Clintons?
Sure, if that's a yes, is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. And on Thursday, you and Infowars started connecting those allegations to our judge, didn't you?
No.
In fact, Mr. Jones, you're telling the world not to believe what happens in this courtroom because the judge worked with Child Protective Services, who you say is involved with pedophilia and child trafficking, correct?
Oh my God. Alex Jones, it's so fucking good, dude. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. Every part of this is just relatable. Honestly, wait, hold on. After they leaked it, Alex Jones's lawyer who leaked his phone sitting there motionless trying to look like the thinker. This is 100% what I would do. Yeah, I was just like, huh. How did that get into the hands of the Sandy Hook lawyers? I love that. Every part of this is real content gold. Especially because, like, there's a clear evil and a clear good here. You know what I mean? There is no... The only people that are on the side of Alex Jones in this are the most unhinged people that haven't been Ashley Babbitt'd yet. You know what I mean? If I don't make a move, no one will see me. Yeah, I would do some shit like that too. That's me right there. Now you're probably wondering how I got here. Out here in the field. Record scratch. By the way, this is the last day of the Sandy Hook case. Update right now. The Sandy Hook case has now been sent to the jury for deliberations, and the jury has been excused from the courtroom. Let's continue.
Not all of it, but it's the Texas Youth Commission got caught doing it a lot. There's been a lot of that here.
I'm not asking you that, Mr. Jones. I'm asking you, you're telling the world not to believe what's happened in this trial because this judge is involved with CPS.
They roasting you on Twitter about this?
And pedophilia, correct?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time we would like to show a clip from Mr. Jones' show on Thursday where those words are said.
By this, he means he's going to get on Twitch and make money off calling the Sandy Hook kids liars. Dude sucks. I hate that guy. This is exactly what I'm doing right now. Let's go. Let's duke it out with the fucking with the femcells a little bit. Fucking idiots. Do not engage. I mean, come on, bro. Like, look, the reality is, like, a lot of these people are very close to just like ending it all. You know what I mean? So sometimes you gotta fucking have fun. You just, I should be able to tap the glass a little bit. You know what I mean? Especially when, like, especially because, like, you know, they're fucking, they're going crazy. And the wildest part about it is that, like, there's so many motherfuckers that will look at that and go, yeah, he's right. I mean, yeah, she's right. They are like that. He is exactly like that. But you're a psycho. Look at their pinned tweet. What is it? That they're mentally ill and want Cash App money or something? You're arguing with a Kirby icon. Worry about that. Yeah. Oh, they're already fucking aware. Look at this. Look at this. Nerd JPEG Nation, get behind me. There you go, bro. You're going to go from fucking 22,000 followers to maybe 23. Some of those guys are going to be Nazis. I'm happy for you. I hope you do really well. I hope you fucking get a little bit of clout, okay, Kirby? Okay, Alicia? Femcells are so fucking annoying. Oh, yeah. Oh, I put a hammer and sickle in my account. They actually think you're on Jones's side? No, dude. No. They're fucking radfems who think, like, because I went to a fucking brothel and I'm pro-sex work, that I'm engaging in, like, child trafficking, okay? Yeah, I have 33 mutuals. That's the problem with like left Twitter, is that there are a million fucking unhinged people on here, and oftentimes you don't know how fucking unhinged they are until they... You are, though? Yeah, totally, man. That's how that works. Like, that makes less sense than the insane thing I thought they were saying. No, they're probably... To be as charitable as possible, most likely a lot of these fucking radfem psychotic femcells are upset that they couldn't really get their licks off. They're most likely Amber Heard stans, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, if you type in Amber Heard, they were saying you were on Johnny Depp's side. Yeah, I know. If you type Amber Heard on the internet right now, you will get like the most unhinged psychos. Like, at least the fucking psychotic Johnny Depp stans are operating off of like preconceived, well-established misogynistic patterns. You know what I mean? They don't know better. Okay? They're psychotic. And there's plenty of that out there. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, you like chose to be a fucking Amber Heard stan and are still going after it. And a lot of these pussies don't actually fucking go after anyone else. They just literally go after people like myself who already admit that Johnny Depp's a fucking douchebag and a piece of shit. Why? Because of course they can't go after anybody else because they're fucking powerless. You are literally a powerless, pathetic fucking loser. If you do that, you're a powerless, pathetic fucking loser. You're being weird. I know. That's it. No, it's not because I have clout. Asmongold has hella more clout than I do. So does XQC. Why the fuck do you think none of them are brave enough to go after fucking Asmongold or XQC, even though I would go so far as to say they had a way more pro Johnny Depp stance than myself? Because it doesn't matter. Because they're not actually trying to fucking do any of that shit. That's why they constantly fucking yell at me instead. They also know chat is gonna... Yes, you're right. They know that chat will fucking link their dumbass tweets if they mention me. And that way, they can have some of the fucking hate watchers that are in here right now. There's 42,000 people watching. Some of those people are going to be fucking psychotic hate watchers. My streamer has no clout? No, it's literally because they don't know how to execute strategy. They just kind of do low for stuff. Exactly. Anyway, let's move on because it is irrelevant ultimately. Just so funny to be like, dude, yeah, you're gonna be pro Alex Jones, yeah. New Senator Kristen Sinema, who's okay. We'll look at the Kristen Sinema shit in a little bit, okay? Stop fucking linking me. Dumb motherfuckers on the internet, okay? Please. I hate it. It's like, it's terrible content. It ruins my fucking mood. You should know better by now than to link me these fucking dumb babies, okay?
For impeachment purposes.
For impeachment purposes, yes, Your Honor.
I'd like to hear the clip.
All right. Do we have a system or just the... Okay.
Yeah, it's not going to come up.
And it won't show yet, right?
Sure, it doesn't show on screen.
We can't even have fun without chatters ruining the fucking vibes, ruining the fucking mood, you know?
we'd argue this is a collateral matter, not appropriate to get into improper impeachment.
Well, those are two different objections and a statement. So
Aw.
is it impeachment on?
What happened? They don't want to play no more? Okay, well, I'll delete my tweet too then. No, they didn't even delete the tweet, actually. Never mind. Not that tweet, at least. It's still around. Immediately closing off the fucking replies. Dude sucks. I hate that guy. Oh, that's their banner? That's their header? Chatters are dumbasses? Oh my god, what is happening to me? Fucking dying.
On a collateral matter or an improper impeachment?
It is an improper impeachment because it is on a collateral matter.
And the collateral matter is what he's saying about me.
Correct.
And the question is about whether he's taking this seriously.
Correct.
Overruled.
I got the Alex Jones cough.
Judge Maya Gamble comes from CPS, who has been exposed for human trafficking.
I love when he was like, no, I never actually linked her back to pedophiles. And then there is just a straight up fucking news segment that Infowars did where he is linking the judge back to Child Protective Services and therefore pedophiles.
And working with pedophiles.
That's what you mean when you say you're taking this seriously.
I take this as serious as cancer. And, I mean, I don't know, you show somebody else's clip that they're always a few seconds long. Why don't you play the whole thing?
Mr. Jones, that's not someone else's clip, is it?
Well, I didn't direct it or produce it, what I'm saying. I mean,
You
it's,
certainly published it.
I'm not standing behind it. I have to see the full thing.
So you don't stand by the things you publish about our judge on your show repeatedly, day
No,
after
no, I
day.
said I don't not stand behind it. I need to see not just 5-second clips.
Well, we can talk about what you said before that.
Can you play, how long's the clip? Can you play the whole clip?
Mr. Jones, you're not asking questions today. You understand that, sir?
Oh, I thought I could ask to see a full document. If somebody showed me something, I could see what it was.
This is a question from the lawyer, answer from the witness.
Okay.
Not the other way around.
The only thing I want to ask you about is not all the other weird stuff you said in that video. I just wanted to ask you about the question that I asked you, which you said, no, I'm not saying the judge is connected to pedophile and child trafficking. This is you taking this trial seriously and in good faith? That's what this is?
It's a 5-second clip. I don't know what you've cut off or on.
Does it matter? Is there anything before and after that that would make it great to show pictures of our judge on fire and telling the world she's involved in pedophile? Can you tell me the context that would occur before or after that makes that great?
Why the fuck, like, what would lead you to unironically make the decision on your psychotic conspiracy network to shit on the fucking judge while you're being, like, while you're on trial for defamation and its genuine material harmful impact? Like, why would you ever even bring up the judge's name? Like, why the fuck would you do that? Like, is he trying to say is he trying to fucking like plead insanity or something? Like, I don't get it. He's just like, he's one speed, brother. You got to respect it. You know, he's like, he only knows one way to deal with it.
Sorry.
I believe you. If you're only wanting to go off 5 seconds, I believe the thing is, the judge is the fire burning Lady Liberty. It's not the judge. The judge is consuming freedom.
Wouldn't you agree with me, Mr. Jones, that I sure hope some of your viewers are able to make that distinction that you just put on the air, don't you?
Object to the
All I know is,
speculation, Your Honor.
is that I take this very serious.
Saying and withdrawn, so stop.
Hearing from in Texas originally.
I first was born in Dallas, then I grew up in a suburb of Dallas called Rockwall.
And how old were you when you moved to Austin?
16.
And can you tell the members of the jury why your family relocated to Austin?
My dad sold his dental practice, and there was too much crime in Dallas, and Austin was a safer city.
Were you still in high school when you moved?
Yes.
And did you graduate from high school?
Yes.
Here in Austin?
Yes.
And did you go to college?
No. I mean, I went a few years to community college.
Wasn't his dad didn't his dad do dental work on the CIA, by the way? For the record? Like, that's also the other reason why I think he's like an asset, or at least was being used a little bit. Because every now and then he does have like high level motherfuckers give him information, and you're like, what the fuck? How do you get that? The stories about his dad change every time he tells them.
Are you married?
Yes.
How many children do you have?
I have 4.
Can you tell us their names and their ages?
I've got, I need to say their names? Well,
You don't have to if you don't want to.
well, there's
Their ages.
Sure, there's.
What's your take on his Bohemian Grove footage? I've already talked about it. Bohemian Grove is a place for like fucking conservative guys to, you know, do gay shit. Like do gay theater shit. If you didn't know what the fuck the Bohemian Grove was, like that's literally what it is. It's a country club to do like gay theater kid shit in. Straight up. I mean, don't take my word for it. Here, hold on. I mean, here, let's ask what Nixon had to say about Bohemian Grove. I mean, it's gonna trigger warning, you know, you're gonna hear the F word, but here.
As spring began to bloom in Washington, D.C.,
I know people that work there, like as waiters and shit.
President Nixon took the time to have an impromptu conversation with 2 of his close aides. H.R. Haldeman and John Ehrlichman were known by Nixon staffers as the Berlin Wall because of their German-sounding names and...
Bro, what happened to my man's hair? What is that haircut, dude? Yeah, they called him the Berlin Wall because my man literally has just a bricked up fucking head. I've never seen this is the most square fucking haircut I've ever seen.
And their penchant for isolating Nixon from anyone.
You know he's a cop. Like, I'm sorry, I know for a fucking fact that guy is a cop.
Who wanted to see him. The only problem was, this little off-the-cuff conversation was being recorded by the secret White House taping system, and President Nixon's thoughts, as well as those of Haldeman and Ehrlichman.
Bro, my man literally rolled up looking like this, dude. I mean, he just rolled up looking straight up like this. Do you have no decency? You didn't get your shit fixed first? You're really gonna come in here like that? That's crazy. That's actually crazy. It's given Frankenstein's monster. Given G-Man, dude. That's wild. Top G.
Would soon become a part of presidential history.
Let's look at Northern California. You understand? Yeah. You know what's happened in San Francisco.
San Francisco is gone.
It's
Clear over.
I know, but it isn't just down in the ratty part of town. But the upper class in San Francisco is that way. The Bohemian Grove that I attend from time to time, the Easterners and the others that come there. But it is the most faggy goddamn thing you will ever imagine in San Francisco crowd that goes in there. It's just terrible. I mean, I don't want to shake hands with anybody in San Francisco. Really?
Well, it's a different set of values.
Understand that, like, this is a secret recording. He has no reason to like fucking hide the truth about the Bohemian Grove or anything like that. He didn't know he was being recorded. He's just straight up saying, like, you know. And for the record, that is what. Why are we platforming this homophobe? Good one. So that's what the I think, guys, I think we should cancel him. I mean, this kind of homophobia, especially from someone who was the president. I mean, it's really a bad look, Sweaty. I'm not a big advocate for cancel culture, but I think he deserves to be canceled. Anyway, it is quite problematic that he used the F word like that. But also at the same time, Bohemian Grove is just like a place where like conservatives and people in positions of power to be able to go to like a country club, basically. No women allowed. Actually, do they allow women now? I don't think so. Anyway, it's like a boys club where they could do like gay stuff and theater kid stuff. Where is it? This guy, someone in the chat said, this guy's gonna have a scandal break out about him. I know it. Anyway, so that's the Bohemian Grove. So Alex Jones like making a bigger deal out of it is pretty funny.
There's Rex, who's 19, Charlotte, who's 18, Georgia, who's 14, and Veronica, who's 5.
And is your wife present in the courtroom today?
She's right there.
Okay. And what's her name?
Erica.
I want to ask you some questions about how you got started out in media with your radio show. Okay? How old were you when you first felt that you wanted to be on the air, that you wanted to work in media?
When I was about 17, I really liked listening to talk radio. And I'd grown up with my dad on road trips listening to like Larry King when he was still on radio. And I really liked Larry King on radio and then also on CNN. And I also liked Howard Stern, thought he was funny. And I really wanted to be a talk show host.
And how did you take that desire to be a talk show host and those early influences, how did you translate that into action? How did you first get on the air?
I had been out of high school about 1.5 years, 2 years, and I went down and took classes at the Access TV station here in Austin. One of the first places to ever have Access TV, had one of the best systems.
He was popping off even back then, by the way. Like, again, much respect to Alex Jones as an artist. Like, as someone who is also a political broadcaster, I have to mention this one more time. But my man was fucking popping off even back then. He has always had incredible amounts of charisma.
So they had a lot of equipment and a lot of studio space. A lot of it was old, antiquated, but was still very useful. So I became self-taught with that equipment. And
was your question, my himbo? Wasn't there a lawsuit about Bohemian Grove in the early 2000s involving an underage boy? I'm sure I'm not imagining this. That could very well be the case. By the way, I'm not saying the Bohemian Grove is good. I'm just saying that they're not doing like satanic, a pedophilic, ritualistic sacrifice. Yeah. Oh, wow. A bunch of fucking conservative men who are in the closet getting together and doing gay shit. Oh, I can't believe that they would do like insane stuff to children too on top of that. No, like, they're conservatives. Of course they did some fucked up shit. They're people in positions of power. That is not surprising to me at all. I'm simply stating that it's not like... it's not like a center of power in the way that like Alex Jones claimed it was. You get it? Gay conservative equal pedophile? No, I'm saying conservative equals pedophile in a lot of cases. But I don't know why you fucking slapped on gay conservative onto it. Yeah, I mean, what's up? Do you have an issue with that take? It's confusing. Very confusing to think that like there's... What? Is this your first time on the broadcast? You know what I mean?
In about 94, 95, and then 95 started doing my own little call-in shows, and then those became pretty popular quickly. And so the phone rang, and a DJ by the name of Sharkman, who had a national show that was managing the local station, 98.9, said, I think you should come in and do like a 3-hour radio show this Saturday and see what people think. And they had Howard Stern on their station, they had G. Ward Liddy, a bunch of other big hosts. They had some other big local hosts who couldn't light the phone lines up. And the first time I went in, they got about 100 calls the first night.
How old were you?
I think I was 21, 22 by then.
And what was the format of your early shows on Austin Public Access TV?
It wasn't as conspiratorial or political. There was some of that because there was other people doing those shows, and I already knew about that information. But it was just all over the map. It was just really call-in shows on different topics. Did variety shows like carved pumpkins on TV on Halloween, and have a guy come in with his pet monkey and it dances around. Just fun stuff. Because I also liked Johnny Carson growing up.
Did people like your show?
They did.
And did your show? I mean, it sounds sort of like almost like a.
What is Alex Jones' defense for this trial? I'm not gonna lie. He doesn't seem to have one. Like, we've been watching it since the jump, and he has not brought up anything. Like, the only thing he's done, in his defense strategy, the only thing he's done is further, solidify that he loves doing defamation on his broadcast. Like, there is no. It's very, very weird. He can't defend himself. He already lost. This is a damages trial. Okay, but there's nothing here to defend. He's not doing a good job of trying to defend himself at all. Because, for everybody who says, well, can he just take the it's just entertainment route? He already tried and failed. Because no matter what, even if you're doing the it's just entertainment route, you can still defame someone. And especially in the United States of America, it is very hard to win a defamation case in comparison to other places, right? And I talked about this extensively during the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, which is why it was wild that Johnny Depp won that. But what you shouldn't probably do is further defame the judge that is deliberating over your case in a defamation trial. And he's basically, it seems like he can't stop himself. I don't know. I don't know what he could do, but I certainly know what he shouldn't do. And he's doing what he shouldn't be doing, which is calling the judge a pedophile.
Wayne's World kind of thing.
I think Wayne's World's a good way to describe it.
And did it win any accolades?
It did. It won Best of Austin a few times in the newspaper, and pretty much started getting written about, and even national coverage within about 2 years.
Really? And so tell us, you've told us already about Larry King and about Howard Stern. Who would you say influenced you artistically in the format and how you did your show then and became the man you are today?
I mean, really, I listened to Larry King a lot because my dad listened to him on the radio a lot when I was, from the time I was 6, 7, I remember listening to Larry King. And then I'd watch him a lot of nights at home in junior high and high school. So I would say more than anybody, Larry King.
And did there come a time when, because of your success and having won this Listener's Choice Award or Viewer's Choice Award, that you were able to be syndicated?
Well, I won a couple of those. I don't think the syndication folks were even paying attention to that. I built a studio in a bedroom in my house because they wouldn't put the equipment in at the local station where I had top ratings to syndicate it. And so I went home, got the equipment, had an engineer come set it up, and then called a syndication outfit and got a sponsor, and then I paid to put it on the satellite.
Tactical coughs disengaged. Yeah. Notice how, his voice is still coarse. That much is real. That's not fake. However, you know, my man's tactical cops have gone away. What's not going away is the top of the hour ad break. A lot of you have been in the chat trying to debate me, okay? So I'm just going to say it. Top of the hour, there's a 60-second ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads, then all you need to do is subscribe, which you can do for $5 or for free with the Twitch Prime, okay? You can also get gifted a sub if you're lucky. But the top of the hour is upon us, and the ad break, much like Alex Jones's fat defamation payout, is unavoidable. Unless you subscribe for $5 or for free with the Twitch Prime. Here's the 1 minute ad break now. Swamp Donkey 1496. Thank you for the 5 tier 1 gifted subs.
And then I got about probably 60, 70 affiliates in about a month. And
Thank you, Anila.
Several hundred affiliates after that.
Can you describe for us what the setup was like? Was it in a spare bedroom?
It was.
Thank you, Christine Kusanagi.
Just a simple wooden desk and a microphone and a little mixer, and then a chair if I had a guest.
And what is syndication for those of us that don't know?
Instead of being on one station, it goes up at that time to a satellite. Now a lot of it's over the internet, and then that's beamed back down, and then other stations can pick it up.
And so you said you were syndicated on how many radio stations?
It fluctuated between 30 or 40 at first, and as much as over 200. I would say things that were politically not popular to talk radio, more left-wing things like being anti-war or things like that, and I would lose a bunch of stations, then I would gain more stations. But talk radio was mainly conservative. And so when 9/11 came around and I had questions, we lost 70% of our affiliates in 1 month because I didn't want to, attack all these foreign countries. But I still was steadfast and had that message. So then I got real popular with the left wing, but I wasn't trying to be left wing. I was trying to follow the right thing, even though it made me lose most of my radio stations, which is the issue of how.
That's so funny that, like, the one time where he had, like, actually good takes, he lost a lot of his syndication opportunities. That's so good.
I do what I think's right. Sometimes I'm wrong. I've been more right than wrong, but I don't do it.
Which, by the way, is yet another fucking instance where I am right. Remember, if you want to make money, go the Alex Jones route, especially if you're fucking, especially when it comes to commentary. There is significantly more money down the fucking right-wing reactionary rabbit hole. Okay? He said he did the right thing and got liberal listeners, implying he knows he does the bad thing to get conservatives. Yeah. When he was anti-Bush, yeah, he was. He was hugely anti-Bush. Back in the day, the conspiracy theorists, like, in the immediate aftermath of 9/11, the conspiracy theorists were the leftists. There were a lot of fucking anti-Bush conspiracy theories out there. Shit was fire. There was a significantly more robust militant left as well. At least, like, on the internet.
For the monetary thing, I do it to tell the truth, or to try to tell the truth, and then the monetary comes with that because people can tell this guy's not reading off the script, and with that comes its own issues. But I'm not lying like the corporate media on purpose. That's the big difference.
And so let's focus in on this early period. What year did you get syndicated?
I syndicated myself in 1998.
And at that time, did you already have the show name, The Infowars?
Yes. It wasn't ever called Infowars. It was the Alex Jones Show.
Thank you, Blue Phoenix 0702, and thank you, Peachy Deserver, the 5 get the sub.
You have to call the show your name, because that's how they do it with the ratings that were written in on little diaries. So to be on radio, you had to say the name of the show coming in and out. It was like TV for Nielsen ratings, so it was the Alex Jones Show.
Tell us about Infowars. How did the name Infowars come to be, and how did that business start?
Vic Freeland, who was an Air Force veteran, who worked in Air Force intelligence in Vietnam. He was the
Alex was also in a movie called Slacker by Richard Linklater. Richard Linklater featured Alex Jones heavily in his movies. Part of the reason I was going to mention that earlier, actually, I totally forgot. Richard Linklater, just like myself, was fascinated by Alex Jones. Like I mean, he fucking thought, yes, he's an Austin guy. Scanner Darkly as well. Yeah. So the thing is, a lot of people saw the broadcasting talent. A lot of people saw the broadcasting talent that Alex Jones had. I've played this clip before, and I've played the Scanner Darkly clip before. Part of the reason why he was like featured in Linklater movies is because at this stage they just thought he was like a weird guy who was like very telegenic.
Death and taxes. Don't talk about politics or religion. This is all the of enemy propaganda rolling across the picket line. Lay down, GI. Lay down, GI. We saw it all through the 20th century. And now in the 21st century, it's time to stand up and realize that we should not allow ourselves to be crammed into this rat maze. We should not submit to dehumanization. I don't know about you, but I'm concerned with what's happening in this world. I'm concerned with the structure. I'm concerned with the systems of control. Those that control my life and those that seek to control it even more. I want freedom. That's what I want, and that's what you should want. It's up to each and every one of us to turn loose of just some of the greed, the hatred, the envy, and yes, the insecurities, because that is the central mode of control. Make us feel pathetic, small, so we'll willingly give up our sovereignty, our liberty, our destiny. We have got to realize that we're being conditioned on a mass scale. Start challenging this corporate slave state. The 21st century is going to be a new century. Not the century of slavery, not the century of lies and issues of no significance and classism and statism and all the rest of the modes of control.
One thing I do think is cool about this, by the way, is that he was doing the conservative car thing. Like, even back then. Like, he kind of did invent that shit.
It's going to be the age of humankind standing up for something pure and something right. What a bunch of garbage, liberal, Democrat, conservative, Republican. It's all there to control you, two sides of the same coin. Two management teams bidding for control, the CEO job of Slavery Incorporated. The truth is out there in front of you, but they lay out this buffet of lies. I'm sick of it, and I'm not going to take a bite out of it. Do you got me? Resistance is not futile. We're going to win this thing. Humankind is too good. We're not a bunch of underachievers. We're going to stand up, and we're going to be human beings. We're going to get fired up about the real things, the things that matter, creativity, and the dynamic human spirit that refuses to submit. Well, that's it. That's all I got to say. It's in your court.
Yep. This man got lead poisoning for real. I mean, he got something. He was poisoned by the CIA and the demon rats.
Come from? Why can't we stop it? The bigger this war gets, the more freedoms we lose, the more substance D is on our streets.
This is another Linklater production, A Scanner Darkly, starring Keanu Reeves.
Can't you figure this out? Look around you. Look how far we've come. Humanity wasn't meant to live like this. Our every waking moment, tracked and traced and scanned. It's time to stop submitting to this tyranny. It's time to realize that we're being enslaved. Uh-oh, it's our tax dollars at work to protect us from ourselves. Hey guys, I used to be one of you. Stop selling out your own species.
Scared me.
Got something for you.
I'm seeing some crazy shit tonight.
I used to be one of you.
Deputy fire chief in Austin, and he was a listener, and he'd done some talk radio interviews. He'd been on some syndicated shows because of magazine articles he'd written, and he came to some of the events and he said, listen, you know, you're really involved in an information war. That's that, and because all information is propaganda. whether it's true or not, it's called information war. And so you ought to try to get that URL. And he had a big old laptop. He said, look, it's available. Do you want Infowars.com? And so Vic Vreeland got the site. He then, even in his spare time, he was still working with the fire department then, he built the basic site and stuff, then helped find me a volunteer or whatever at first. We didn't really have any money to then start updating the site a little bit every day. And that was in 1997.
The other, for the record, like part of this is also because like Alex Jones is an American. What do I always say about American politics? It is a mishmash of a bunch, a sea of different ideas that oftentimes contradict itself. So like he had a libertarian streak in him, but he also was an advocate for, you know, the most pro-police, most pro-cop president, Donald Trump. So like, it's always like this. And that's how it works. And he's united under bigotry for the most part. Like his ideology is a bunch of different ideas, oftentimes in contradiction from one another. It unites under the banner of the most reactionary position you can take.
So Infowars came from an Air Force intelligence term.
So you had the Alex Jones show that was being broadcast, and you also had Infowars at the same time.
Yes, I had a radio show. At the time, I was doing a local radio show. And then
I'm 50 and I watched the 90s Alex Jones via LimeWire. You were 8. Did you go back in your teens and research Alex Jones or later? I have 50-year-old HasanAbi heads. That's crazy. How do you know so much early Alex Jones? The Illuminati? Bro, I am fascinated with media. I'm a media demon, okay? When I say I've always been fascinated with Alex Jones, staying with Joe Rogan, I mean it.
I was doing the syndicated one out of my house, and then I had a website that I could post articles on or links to say, look, this is on the...
Damn, bro, when I say I fucked your mom, and you motherfuckers say like, yo, my mom is dead, now I believe it. There's like hella 30, 40 plus people in here.
Go check it out on air. So it's kind of a way to make radio almost like TV, because the internet was starting to become more effective and more, where it actually worked. The word's not effective, where you could actually post stuff and do things. And so we could put things on there and show people what we were talking about.
Did you also start making, in order to support Infowars, did you also start making documentaries?
I did start making documentaries. In 1997, I made my first documentary, America Destroyed by Design, about the Great Reset that was coming and the different UN documents that were in it. And then I made more than 25 more films after that.
Why make the films?
Most talk show hosts would sell a coffee cup or a newsletter to fund themselves, and I wanted to build a larger news organization because I wanted to do more and I wanted to make documentaries. So I went out and made documentaries and used the money from that to make more documentaries, because that way you could show people what it was you were talking about in a format before there was really the internet. Because even though the internet was around, it was mainly text and pictures. In 96, 97, 8, 9, documentaries on VHS and then DVD was the way people interface with that.
And at the time, what was your main topic of interest that you wanted to explore through your documentaries, as well as through your radio show and your website?
The plan to cut off U.S. energy reserves that we're now experiencing, the plan to cut off all coal power generation, then gas, and the forced move on to renewables, but that it was in the documents. They didn't plan to even have those. It was a post-industrial program called Agenda 21 that George Herbert Walker Bush signed on to in Rio de Janeiro in 1992. And I read the plan, and it said we're building a post-industrial world. And we're going to have a controlled demolition of civilization to force depopulation. And now that's mainline news. Bill Maher called for...
I just want to point something out here, but like Joe Rogan famously said, Alex Jones is right about a lot of things.
Depopulation last Friday night.
In addition to your documentaries, are you also an author?
I am, yes.
How many books have you written?
I've written 2 and contributed to more than 20.
We'll talk about your latest book later. Let's move forward a little bit. In 2001, what, if anything, happened with you and your program on YouTube?
Say that again, please.
Did you have a series of videos that were very successful on YouTube in the early 2000s?
Before YouTube came around, in I think 2004, and then it was out of some guy's garage in San Francisco, got bought by Google around that time. We were actually putting out videos ourselves that we were streaming ourselves, but it became too expensive, so we had to stop. We were doing that by 2000, 2001. And I mean, these are all the technical things, but then Google Video came around, and we had videos on there with
Is the 2018 CPAC the time when Alex Jones fought Jank? I'm realizing that 2018 CPAC is when he made the most money, right? Isn't that literally when he tried to fight Jank? Dude, I fucking fuck this world, bro. I hate it. I hate it so much. I literally fucking hate it so much. Yeah, it is. The most money he ever made, he made after he tried to fucking... After he crashed the Young Turk stage.
Is Alex Jones and a guy significantly worse than him entered the stage here.
This is the last time Jimmy Dore was cool, by the way, when he spat in Alex Jones's face. Oh, it's 2016 during the RNC. No, never mind. It's 2016 RNC. Never mind. Never mind. Oh, thank God. Thank fucking God. Yeah, 2016 RNC, man. Shit was fucking insane. The reason why I was looking at 2018 CPAC is because that's when he made 800 grand on multiple days that week. Infowars was making $800,000 a day for multiple days. Oh, Alex Jones's wife is also using apparently the Sandy Hook text message leak. Alex Jones' ex-wife, Kelly Jones, here, and I'm going to subpoena this data. Won a jury, lost my kids for blowing the whistle on Infowars. Subpoena request will go out today. Hasan is triggered by other political commentators making more money than him. Dude, you are so fucking dumb. There are a million. Every political commentator on the planet that is on the right makes more money than me. Okay? Every single political commentator on the right makes more money than I do. Okay? Tim Pool makes more money than me. Ben Shapiro makes more money than me. I think you are misunderstanding my point. I am incredibly comfortable with the amount of money I make. Okay? Please. The point I'm trying to make is these guys make a killing off of talking like what they're saying is unprofitable. Conservatives talk about how their rhetoric is too dangerous, far too dangerous, and that they're being punished for these crazy ideas that they're putting forward, these truths that can't be heard. Okay? But it's a lie. You have a gigantic audience, and more importantly, a gigantic audience full of disposable income when you are a conservative. That's my point. Their entire fucking it's fake victimhood that they have cultivated that so many dumbasses, including this guy probably, believes in without realizing that he's like paying into a fucking grift. For me, the money isn't the W here. It is the truth about something that is profoundly fucking scary. It is incredibly scary. And that is that this man had a gigantic fucking platform to harass Sandy Hook victims' families. Okay?
Millions of people that watched him, and we were just putting him out for free. And it was very popular with the left because it was us tracking and protesting the KKK. It was us exposing police brutality and things like that. And I wasn't trying to be left wing. I just thought those were really important topics. And so I got really popular with the left wing then. And they went and had me speak in San Francisco and New York, and I got big awards, you know, by the big liberal Democrat channels.
Let me ask you about that part, because that's an aspect of your work and who you are that you cultivate, which is different from in the studio. From the very beginning, did you believe it was important to go to demonstrations, to talk to the people on the street, to be part of protests?
Absolutely.
And how did that play into?
You have to be You have to have something mentally wrong with you on a different level to even think of that think that about Sandy Hook is so crazy. Oh, really, Chowder? Well, let me tell you something. In the aftermath of the Uvalde school shooting, I'm willing to bet that there are significantly more people that believe that was fake. The only difference is now you don't have a singular fucking speaker that redirects that anger and vitriol at the families in the way that Alex Jones did. However, that narrative that these school shootings, these incredible fucking acts of these incredible massacres are fake is a more prescient and more popular narrative than ever before. I talked about this extensively during the Uvalde shooting. Maybe you weren't here and maybe you missed it. But that is where you go when you have no more options. If you have firmly believed that like guns are not the problem your entire fucking life, and you have come up with different counters over and over again, like, well, if there was only a good guy with a gun, then it would have been fine. And then every single one of those counters, as a consequence of how much gun violence occurs in this country, all of those counters have been dispelled. All of those narratives have been destroyed, right? You finally have to arrive at the final fucking way of coping with this reality, rather than recognizing the real problems. The real problems being that like guns are easily accessible. If you can't recognize that, then you have to cope with that reality by coming up with something completely insane, like, oh, well, it must have been fake then. Okay? And that's where this comes from. And there are more people now that believe shit like this. There are more people now that believe shit like this than back when he was popping off with the Sandy Hook stuff. The only difference is there isn't anyone dumb enough like Alex Jones to come out and say it and have like such a prominent, massive audience.
To what you were trying to do at Infowars.
Well, Infowars is a radio show on TV. And that's really what Oprah Winfrey is too. It's just, but I mean, it all goes back to radio, and that started 100 years ago, or a little bit more now. And so that's a separate thing. A talk show with opinions and people debating is like The View. They're not fact checking, they're just giving their opinions. When I'm on the radio show, most of the time I'm just a pundit giving my opinion. Everybody on talk radio knows that. We play devil's advocates, we look at both sides. I don't do that very often now because people can edit tapes and hurt you bad. I would say, well, let's look at this. They're saying this, and they believe that. And now let's look at this. And it's
this actually makes it worse. He's like, I don't even look at both sides anymore. So like, what? Because people can edit tapes. It's like, motherfucker, are you serious? So you're just openly fucking admitting. You're openly admitting that like the shit that you're saying is not even devil's advocacy. You're just a psycho.
Later, as I realized my show had a lot more power than I thought, I realized, well, even if I'm not the one editing these tapes, I've got to be more careful because there's bad guys out there that will do it. But the films I'm proud of, we didn't ever put any films out about Sandy Hook, never had any products about Sandy Hook. The films we would try to really vet and do more journalistic research into and fact check and interview renowned people. I mean, I interviewed like former U.S. Attorney Generals and members of Congress and former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. I mean, that's who we would go for these films. Top economists, just really big names for these films. And they were very, very popular. So that's where I've been journalistic and done a good job. I guess with the age of the internet, people grabbing clips out of talk radio or talk TV and mixing it together, I can see how it could cause problems. And that's why I've admitted that I've made a lot of mistakes, but none of it was done from some master plan deal. It was done from a bedroom in my house.
Sustained.
So one of the things I notice about you is that you have a very distinctive voice, very deep, sort of gravelly voice. Did your voice always sound that way?
No.
What happened to your voice? Why does it sound the way it does?
Well, I remember the two demonstrations where I finally wrecked it. And one was about 12, 13 years ago. It was actually film of it. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Do you have some way to tie this to the damages portion of this story? No. I'll address you if I'm talking to you.
This is so that the jury can understand who my client is and properly assess his credibility, his demeanor.
Sustained.
I mean, no, they're treating him like a baby because like his team is just awful.
Let me ask you directly about Infowars as we're coming into the period where Sandy Hook occurs. Okay?
Yes.
About how many employees did you have circa 2012?
I'd say about 45, 50.
And where were you broadcasting from?
What year?
2012.
Oh, I was broadcasting from offices, studio.
In terms of size, how does that compare to, for example, the New York Times in terms of how many employees?
Objection, speculation. I don't believe this witness has any personal knowledge about the New York Times employee roster.
So you can only answer the question if you have actual knowledge about how many employees the New York Times has. Otherwise, you have to say, I don't know.
So as a member of the media, are you generally from?
One of the days, the judge not only said you're no longer allowed to lie, she literally stopped the proceedings short because like he just kept lying about things that had been proven to be lies already. Pretty funny. He just can't help himself.
Familiar
He
with
can't
the
stop.
media organizations that are in the industry?
Yes.
And based on that knowledge of the industry, can you tell us size-wise how your organization compares to the New York Times or to CNN?
It's between 1/100th and 1/20th the size of those different organizations if you count it for employees and bureaucracy and the number of offices and things they do.
So I want to ask you some questions about the different formats of the.
By the way, this is his team asking him these questions because they want to introduce Alex Jones as like a folklore hero who is just like doing the right thing. Understand that that's the reason why they're setting him up like this. They want to garner as much sympathy as possible. This is, I mean, of course, pretty impossible considering how much Alex Jones has fucking lied and what kind of brutalization he has brought upon the victims of Sandy Hook, right? So you already know all that shit, so it's impossible for you to see, but like they're gonna still try. Now, what's funny about it though, the other thing that they were trying to establish is that the Infowars parent company filed for bankruptcy. I think it was like Free Speech Media or something, and that they would go bankrupt because the parents of Sandy Hook are suing him for $150 million in damages, which they fucking deserve, by the way, for the multiple year-long harassment that they withstood, that they had their cars shot at, that they had their fucking houses shot at. They were completely doxxed. Yeah, Free Speech Systems is the company that already had filed for bankruptcy before this happened. Okay? But the reality is that the treasure trove of data that they found, you guys didn't know that? Yeah. Yeah, people showing up to their houses with video cameras, filming them nonstop. Now, listen, not only that, and this went on for a decade, but also Alex Jones, is a liar and did what Alex Jones loves to do, lie. He not only capitalized on their suffering, he not only sent a bunch of the most unhinged, deranged psychopaths, some of them that are heavily armed, over to their houses, but he also continued to lie on this court case by declaring that he was broke and that he had no money. Why would anybody think you're pro Alex Jones? No one is going to think I'm pro Alex Jones. You literally have to be an Alex Jones head to think I'm Alex Jones. You have to be that fucking mentally ill. But one of the things that we found out was that the company was making $800,000 a day. Okay? $800,000 a day during CPAC in 2018. So he's caked the fuck up. Okay? So the idea that he doesn't have enough money to pay $150 million in damages in this defamation suit is a fucking straight up transparent lie.
Different shows that Infowars broadcasts. Can you tell us what the sort of different segments are that would appear on a given day at Infowars circa 2012?
There was my 4-hour radio show that in 2012 was just a webcam on me for people that wanted to watch it online. And then it was me at a desk with a camera.
I don't think they were making $800,000 every single day, but that was the highest earnings week that they said that they had. You can't fucking... Unfortunately, you can't really... They're not reliable narrators, right? So they could be lying about it. They could just totally have made more. They could have made less. But up to $800,000 a day for the week of CPAC in 2018 is real.
In 2012. And then, that was it, basically.
At some point, did you all begin to have additional segments besides just you doing your radio show and answering calls?
Well, yes, that's... Now I understand what your first question was. What was the different types of media we were doing?
Yeah.
There was the syndicated radio show. There was also had a visual component, digital video online. And then there was documentary making, and that's what I had 10 or so people working on with me. And then I started to develop reporters and people to go out and actually cover like live events and protests and things that were going on. And then we also did everything in-house. So we had our own shipping department to be able to ship out books and films, not just my books and films, but a lot of other authors' books and films. We interview a lot of those authors. And so that's what we were doing back then.
Now, your radio show, was it purely...
Brothers, according to the SPLC, even like as recently as this year, he got cash pay, well, not cash, not fiat currency, but Bitcoin payments made to Infowars.com. $2 million, $8 million, like one-off Bitcoin payments and shit. So like these guys are caked the fuck up, okay? Caked out the goddamn wazoo.
A call-in show, or did you also go sort of on rants about different issues that you were seeing?
Yes, we would have a lot of calls. Sometimes the whole show would be calls. Sometimes it would be all guests. Sometimes I would just decide I had so much news that I was going to just cover up to 100 stories on there and just look at them. The audience knows whether it's the BBC or whether it's an Infowars story or whatever it is, they can choose, they can go look it up for themselves. We're just covering what's in this. And so we just bam, bam, bam. It's the same way today, like Pelosi's in Taiwan. What do you think of it? You think there's going to be...
Chatter said, prove it. Alex Jones' Bitcoin fairy drops $8 million a month on Infowars. His anonymous Bitcoin donor dropped nearly $6 million more worth of that cryptocurrency on the embattled extremists and is now giving him close to $8 million in 26 days. Hate Watch is determined. This is happening like May 26th because of the defamation suit. To prosecute a war, we need prayer, word of mouth, and money. Money's a symbol that the enemy has used against us and is bringing us down with. You must use that money to attack, Jones said. And continued his pitch for donation for several minutes, leaning on metaphors about battle and war. Yeah. And then one day later, the same Bitcoin mega donor who previously given Alex Jones $2 million worth of cryptocurrency in April multiplied the donation significantly and gave him a total of $8 million. So yeah. Weird that his lawyers suck though. It's not that weird. He has his like friends on and shit. So
be a war. The Chinese are threatening war. Oh, look, Biden fell down again. Oh, look, that they found another trailer full of 50 dead people in Texas. This is horrible. We got to do something about this. And it's just coming up next. It's real simple. I got a stack of news. We're going to play a video clip of Bill Maher, saying we need to depopulate the human population. And we got, let's take calls. What do you think about Bill Maher saying we should get rid of the majority of people? Well, who's going to...
Guys, his lawyers suck, and this last group of lawyers, demonstrably fucked up big time. But what you also have to fucking realize is that it's kind of hard to fucking defend this guy. Okay? It's kind of hard to defend him. He's on trial for defamation about what he has said and the fucking harmful and the immediate material harms his words created for the victims of Sandy Hook. And he did the exact same thing to the judge. Like, while the trial was going on, he refused to show up, said it was health complications, then went on to do his own fucking show on the day that the victims were offering testimony. And on that day, on his show, he said the judge worked with CPS and therefore was a pedophile. And literally, there's an image. There's straight up an image of the judge on fire. Like, that was the background footage they used, man. You can't make this up. It's like this guy is trying to lose.
Who's going to do that? Who's going to do the killing? I think this is wrong. I think it's dangerous. I think it sounds like Hitler. I mean, that's what we do.
And how did, at the time, 2012, how did you all source the...
It's not a trial for defamation. The case is over and he's found liable. This is damages trial. Sorry. It's the damages from his defamation. You're right. It's an important distinction. No.
How did you source the stories that you wanted to cover during that segment of your talk radio or
95% of what we were covering was mainstream news going, look, they're saying this, do you believe it? Or what do you make of this?
Also, this is the just curious defense. Love that.
I mean, it's that kind of thing. is that we would simply do what talk radio does. That's what talk radio does. That's what Larry King did, is stack the news articles, talk about what's going on, what people are saying, ask callers, what do you think of that? Do you buy that? What do you think?
Oh, this was a fun moment, too. This was a funny moment.
It goes on, and he says that he's sorry, and we'd ask that the entire party.
Spit your gum out, Mr. Jones.
It's not gum.
What is it? Because you're not allowed food or gum of any kind in the courtroom.
I had my tooth pulled a week and a half ago, and I had some gauze in there earlier, and it's been causing me to have some pain.
So you're chewing on your gauze?
Would you like me to show you?
No, I just want you to answer my question.
No, I was massaging the hole in my mouth with my tongue. Actually, right here. Here.
I don't want to see
All right.
the inside of your mouth.
Oh no, there's no gum. Hole.
Sit down. Do you want to play the rest of it to see if you'll... I mean, if we're going to go on this path, it could go on all day.
I don't want to play it because defaming someone and continuing this whole saga and then saying I'm sorry is an optional completeness.
Well, I agree with that.
How are you doing?
Here's Alex Jones speaking to reporters on day 6 of his trial.
Doing great.
Are you looking forward to hearing anything or making your case?
Well, this is all a show trial. Judges don't find people guilty in America, juries do. So she found me guilty. She lied and said we didn't give them the discovery so she could have a show trial and tell the jurors 8 times I've seen her, this man's guilty. So all of your rights.
Bro, look at how he is inside of the courtroom versus how he is outside of the courtroom. It's pretty fucking funny when you think about it. Homie's out here blasting, okay? Homie's out here fucking blasting the judge, especially when he's on his own show. He literally calls her a pedophile. In there, he's like, me, I don't know.
Rights to due process and trial by jury is being destroyed here in Austin, Texas. Austin is the second most famous city in America for judicial fraud. D.C. and Austin, where the Democratic Party have fully weaponized the judiciary to persecute people, just like Rick Perry, who they indicted for vetoing a bill. They indicted him, or Tom DeLay. They've done this over and over again, and she hopes the jury doesn't learn what she's done. She even tried to sign a document saying we couldn't mention the First Amendment or say we're innocent. All I did was speculate and ask questions. I have a right to do that. It has been the lawyers, the Democratic Party, and the whole Sandy Hook anti-gun crew that has attached themselves to me for years. They've talked more in this trial about Sandy Hook than I ever did in 10 years. They make money off of it. They live off of it, and that's the truth.
Mr. Jones, we know you're a father. Mr. Heslin took the stand today. Do you have anything you want to say to him as a father? Why weren't you there this morning?
What we have is gun control groups trying to use dead children to take not just the Second Amendment, but now the First Amendment away from America, and it will fail. The Democratic...
Can't say he's innocent during this because he was already found guilty. Yeah. That was just fucking, I don't know what else to say about that. I mean, that's just fire top to bottom, you know what I mean? Oh, here, by the way, Alex Jones, fun fact about Alex Jones, for those of you who don't know, he actually sells marked up Zapatista coffee, which is cool.
Chiapas, Mexico, the communist. Well, that's where some of the best coffee in the world that's wild harvested, above organic, in the volcanic soil, better than Guatemalan coffee. And yeah, we buy it from the little farmers that the media calls communist, but really they're just a commune and whatever. The point is that it's good coffee and we've got it. And
He does. He like literally gets it from the EZLN. He does. That's true. Alex Jones is funding the Zapatistas, dude. Did he say Mexico is communist? No, the farmer, Chiapas, the region where the Zapatistas operate, are actually anarcho-communists. Okay, that is the fuck is happening right now? Can't get inside.
and the farmers. Don't let the Mexican government take over. So I actually buy this from the Mexican rebels, and I've been buying it for, 14 years, and the price has never gone up. The same stuff sold at Whole Foods under another name for about 50% more per pound, and I just think it's some of the best coffee you're going to find anywhere. It's Wake Up America Patriot Blend from the Chiapas Rebels, literally. People say, why is it from...
How are you a leftist and don't know about the Zapatista law? Wait, are you asking me or are you asking the chatter? That's true though. Baby doll 891, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. Yeah. Alex. We're going to talk about Kirsten Cinema. There's the new Manosphere shit. What the fuck was this that I just turned off? Oh, yeah. I mean, we talked about the financials behind Infowars. It's important. Alex Jones says 800 today was a really good week during CPAC where they were doing better business. Just want to add that Alex Jones' latent cough came back in full force when he was reading his own text. Sandy Hook parents, lawyer on a hot mic during recess. You know what? Nobody's thought about that yet. What happens when the phone goes to law enforcement? Well, guess what? Law enforcement did think about that. As we mentioned already. Shaking my head. Stop using the word anarchist when you're yelling at dumb chatters if you like the Zapatistas law.